Says we're live. Here we are.
Live. We tried this yesterday. Oh, what a nightmare! But
here's the deal with that.
The Zoom thing.
No, here's the thing. I really want to put this out there because it's real important. Twin Flames, Lee and Sherry, and Relationship Reinvented are two separate things. Twin Flames, Lee and Sherry, that's us. Relationship Reinvented is us as well. We own the business. Relationship Reinvented Coaching Certification Program, Root Camp, that's all us. Relationship Reinvented does a lot of stuff, man, that's not twin flame related. We talk to people who are divorcing, people who are about to get married, people who are they're my son. Hi, Cameron. God.
Hi.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Anyway, we do a lot of secular things. I'll use that word. And we have a very, very strong core family happening, and we're building this business, and the four that was in the video with us, Cassie, Heather, Gina, and Michelle, are really, really, really invaluable to us, and we're utilizing them. And so, we've come up with this. We're gonna talk about different things on how am I connected to, and we're gonna come up with different topics and things. This one just had to be how am I connected to sex. Hey, Cam. Hey, Cameron. How about you click off Mommy's video? How about you do that? Okay, that was a good time. Say bye, Cameron. Say bye, and please click off. I'm watching.
He needs to make sure he puts subscribe to my channel. Oh, hi, Michelle.
Yeah. And speaking of one of them, and one of them is here. Michelle is here. So that's the topic that we were talking about last night. To find that video is real easy. Just go over to the Relationship Reinvented channel. It says Relationship Reinvented on it. It's going to be easy to find on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel too, because we are going to be doing a lot of things over there. We're going to be building that channel as well. There's another one of the two. Heather Baker is here. She was one in the video last night as well. So yeah, come over to Relationship Reinvented channel as well. Subscribe. That way you know when we're on both channels. You know what I mean? You know when we're on. Relationship Reinvented is going to be more of a secular type of. It's a broader audience, but a little bit more secular. Try to keep your twin flame questions over here. It happens over there too. It's fine. But if we can sort of keep them over here, if we ask questions over here, let's try to use like the connected one when I'm connected to. So people who don't understand this dynamic or whatever can also get value out of the question. Hang on, I know you have a question or a statement. I see it coming. But these videos are going to be just as valuable to you. Throw yourself in the conversation, in the situation, and apply it to your twin flame journey. You'll be able to do that.
So just to clarify, Twin Flames, Lee and Sherry's the union. Relationship Reinvented is the mission.
Yeah.
And it's vast.
It doesn't mean that Twin Flames, Lee and Sherry and Relationship Reinvented don't collaborate. We do all the time. It's just it's hard to put that separation on there, and we don't want it completely separated. It's just Twin Flames, Lee and Sherry and Relationship Reinvented are two different things. The coaching we do is through Relationship Reinvented. If you want twin flame coaching, we also do that as well through Relationship Reinvented. So a lot of spiritual coaching.
Cool.
All right. Let's see what's happening here.
Hi, Heather. Hi, Christy. Coaches.
Yes, coaches are in here.
Twin is extremely jealous, and if a guy even looks at me, he assumes I'm cheating on him. And when I involve others who are close to me and know me, not to be that person to show him the truth, says I have no right to do that.
I have a question real quick, because this happens so much, and I just don't understand, first of all, how I got makeup all over my face. Anyway, what I don't understand is, so you have a jealous, okay. If somebody's looking at you, how are you in trouble? Like, if I don't know, if a girl, if we're out in the club or we're out doing something and somebody comes on to Lee, how is Lee in trouble? What did Lee do? Like, what did you do? You were just looking pretty. Isn't it okay for somebody to look at your spouse and them not get in trouble for it? And they're not doing anything wrong. I mean, if they're like, hey, you know what I mean? That's a problem. But if they're not, if they're just being them, being friendly, hi, how are you doing? How are they in trouble? I never did understand that. Stop what? I wasn't doing anything. If somebody was looking at me, somebody's looking at me. I cannot understand that. I just never have been able to understand that little jealous, like, I saw her looking at you. Well, what are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I went off on a little tangent there, but I don't get it.
Well, maybe I could help shed some light on this.
Okay.
When you don't have the truth between you can't trust each other.
Sure.
And it may not necessarily be that she's not telling the truth or he's not. There's a space in between where both keep things to themselves that they don't share with one another. And they detect it. And when they see somebody interested in that kind of thing, they believe that person, that may be the reason why they're not sharing things, is that maybe somebody outside of this connection will share something with them. And literally, we had to kind of go through that the hard way. Mm-hmm. So as we look at it now, when we see that kind of behavior, we know that there's no foundation of truth. In union or in connection, if you don't have a foundation of the truth, which means you can tell on yourself as much as you can tell the other person who they are, mm-hmm. which you really have to really get to that space, then you're really going to find that you will have periodic moments of jealousy. You'll end up fighting a lot. You'll end up hiding a lot. Then you end up not. The communication gets broken. So in this particular case, bringing somebody else into the conversation is still not getting the truth coming from you. So the truth is, if that person was interested in looking at me, I'm connected to you. And what I can't help what that other person does, and putting that other person in between you is the other person's deciding to do, to see if you're going to respond and go, that doesn't even faze me because I have you. If that's not coming from you, the truth is not being revealed, and then it becomes something more. And you get to sit around with those thoughts, telling yourself, well, I'm threatened because the person I'm connected to is being taken away from somebody else. So you put all the focus on what's actually happening, but not the focus of your love on the person you want to be with. So it's almost like you're not seeing the clear choice of choosing, I love you and I'm not, and my love is enough for you for me to be threatened by somebody else coming in. But if I know I treat you like shit, I'm going to be jealous of this other person. Mm. That's where it becomes concerning. I mean, if I was to look at it and answer it in a way that kind of points to what about, somebody being right or wrong? I think in this particular case, if I'm going to be threatened over, if somebody's looking at Sherry and their Google eyes and they come over and start flirting with her, I believe I have enough love that I give to her, that I share with her, that I don't feel any kind of threat. I mean, I'm connected to you and I trust me, so I know I can trust you. I trust the love that I give to you. I trust the love that I give to me first, but I trust the love that I give to you. Does that make sense? So I never feel like somebody could come swooping in and get that away.
Right.
So that would be where I would go with it. I don't know if that turned on any kind of lights. Hopefully it did. But I would go there. I would at least even sit down and say, you know what? We need to have the truth between us so you don't feel this threat. So tell me what it is that's going on the inside of you that makes you think that another person could come and take me away from you. Or I would have a reason to cheat on you. Pay attention to how you treat me. And if you know you treat me beautifully, that shouldn't even be something that enters you. But if they know they're not treating you that way, maybe it just opens it up for a deeper discussion. Just I don't know. But I always say things right. It just comes out that way.
Is it on here and is it free to watch? It's
Yes.
actually on YouTube, yes, but it's not on this channel. It's not on Twin Flames Lee and Sherry channel. It's over on Relationship Reinvented channel. So just up in YouTube, it just type in Relationship Reinvented and you should find it. And that video is there. And it's an awesome video. We had some technical things in the beginning, but there will be a part 2 to that next week, early next week, hopefully, or next week there will be a part 2 to that. And if we'll be able to have the chat on the side. So then we'll be able to answer your questions too. So it may turn into a part 3, or we may move on to another topic.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do.
That was a good.
We're gonna do
our coaches did awesome.
We're gonna do our real talk. As often as we can. Our hashtag RR Real Talk.
All those coaches are on fire.
Yeah, they are.
You guys should reach out to them, and as well as anybody in RR. But I'm telling you, those coaches that we had last night, just spot on.
Yeah. Our coaches are awesome too. So.
Yes. Yeah.
How to end a twin flame connection? Well, there is only acceptance. There's only to end the connection. In my opinion, in my belief system, you cannot. You can accept it. You do not have to be with that person. You do not have to have a relationship with that person. You do not ever have to be in union with that person. But you will always be connected.
Can you trace down the thought pattern in you that tells you want to end it, to find it all the way back to where it's going to cause you the worst part of suffering? So I would say if you go back and look at what you were trying to end, find out why is there a thought pattern in you that says that you want to end a connection, and where did you learn that? Because that, I would imagine there's something that you're experiencing in the connection that's hurting you, and you need to figure out what you're saying to you that's hurting you so you can just stop that. End that. Don't end the connection. End the one thing that you're saying inside that ends the connection to yourself, because you got to be fully connected. Okay. Oh, he's married. Okay. So if he's married, there's a way to do this. And it's not that you're ending the connection. You're accepting it. I accepted that Sherry was married. I accepted that she had a baby on the way. I accepted those things. But it strengthened the connection in a more beautiful way because we developed a friendship out of it. And it wasn't one where we were like talking every day at first, but it was one that actually kind of put me into peace with the whole thing, to realize that I'm connected to her, and that meant I was going to be connected to the baby, and I was going to be a part of accepting that this was who she was and who she had in her life. And if I wasn't loving it, I had this thing that was going on in the inside that made me miserable. And then I realized it was me making me miserable, not her. So I ended up giving up that experience, or that thought pattern that kept saying that she's not choosing me, she's not choosing me, she just did this. And I was making myself sick. I didn't want to do that anymore. So I just really kind of had to let that go. I don't know. I hope that answered. What can I do in these situations that are on repeat? This, I think, refers back to the jealousy.
Yeah.
Like I said, you guys need to have a sit-down talk about, okay, do you trust me enough? Do you love me enough to trust me? And if not, let's fix this, because the only way we're going to trust each other is with the truth. And you should probably just ask for that direct truth. How do you feel you treat me? And then tell me how you feel I treat you. Then I get to tell you the same. I would go there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Guys, if union isn't yet manifesting, could the problem ever only be from one twin, or is it always a two-sided thing?
I believe you can find balance in it where you're both ready. That's how unions come into it. However, there is always a lot of work to do, and it seems like that old the old patterns. Why do I have to do all the work? come into play there, and you may be doing a lot of work, and they may not. They may be doing a lot, may not. I don't know a solid answer to that, but there's always some type of balance you can find. You know what? He's not doing any much work, so I'm not going to do much work. Screw it. That's not gonna help anything, right? Always be open and inviting to any kind of healing, and just continue to do your work. You can't do anybody else's work. You can't expect to be the catalyst for anybody to do their work. They have to do it. They have to do it on their own, and they have to want to do it on their own. You can't push somebody else to do their work because you want to get into union real quick. It just is, without knowing the situation, I don't know.
I think about when you were talking, you and I have had talks about manifestation and the struggle with certain things that manifest or the certain things that aren't manifested. And usually you're so focused on what isn't manifesting, you actually manifest why it shouldn't. You know what I mean? It's almost like you automatically create a problem or you create a solution of why something doesn't manifest. So on the inside, when you're looking for the problem that's not creating or manifesting something, you're focused in the wrong space. So you're focused more on the problem area rather than focusing on what the solution is. So if you're looking for all of the problems, don't worry, you're making sure that you're not manifesting what you want. You're going to manifest what you don't.
Right.
So I would say just change from looking for the problem to only looking for the solution to manifest what you're pointing to, whether it be in the other person or in you. I would say focus in you first, because what happens in the mirror happens at the other side of the mirror. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how to be wrong. Okay, let's see. I'm settling to be honest. I believe I found someone who is better fit for me than my twin. Y'all can have it. I'm done. And the whole idea of it, twin flame garbage, don't want it.
Yet you're still on the twin flame channel.
We love you though.
Hold on.
I like the whole little trash can.
I love it.
I know. It's like...
And I feel personally, you are in a great space and a great place, and that's exactly where you should be.
Yeah.
I really feel like there are times when you have to.
You know that was funny.
You have to accept the fact that you're connected, but realize that it's toxic and it's not a good place to be.
Yeah.
And being able to move on in that acceptance is healing in itself. And I'm pretty damn proud of you.
Yeah. We both actually went a direction where we had to choose people who we were telling ourselves weren't toxic and maybe even said better.
Yeah.
But we also realized that we needed to learn some things ourselves.
Right.
And that was what we really were getting out of that. So it's not that sometimes you go, okay, I'm done. I'm tired of connection. The thing is once you're connected, it's almost impossible to remove yourself from what you're connected to, but you don't even see all the things you need to learn yet. So going a different direction sometimes is healing. Sometimes going a different direction is sometimes the best route for you, because sometimes that best route is to show you that you can still choose yourself. And how do you go about choosing yourself? If you have somebody who's completely open and accepting of you, you may be sharing more with them than you're sharing with the person you're connected to. And then you start realizing, wait a minute, I can actually share these things. I mean, happened to you.
Yeah.
So sometimes that is going to be the best route.
Yeah, I think he's in a great place.
Yes.
And I'm very proud of him. I don't want it also, but I like you. But like you say, I need to accept it. I just want him out of my head. We don't talk for a very long time. Your thought process is your thought process. Get him out if you don't want it in there.
Getting him out of your head is the issue. Why don't you just stay in your heart?
Yeah.
Right. As long as you stay out of your heart, you stay in your heart, you're staying out of your head. So you literally find a way not to abandon yourself and realize that maybe you just accept that he's in your head and you stay in your heart until he can actually arrive there. I don't know. Good answer. I just had a light bulb moment. I realized I've been running by keeping my heart closed out of fear of rejection. Where do I go from here after being shut down from my twin? I'm lost. The fear of rejection was rejecting you. How do you forgive yourself for that? Once you forgive yourself for that, wouldn't that be the open heart? I mean, you also have to realize what is it that your fear of rejection was actually stating to you to make you reject yourself, then reject the person you're connected to. You're going to have to deep dive into that. And we've got coaches in free 30 minutes with us even, where we can actually point to where you should probably put some forgiveness in. And it's not so much lost as it is found. I mean, if you know that you were actually keeping your heart closed, aren't you found now? Because some people walk around all day with their heart closed and tell themselves that they're completely keeping it together. They're strong, they're this, they're that. To be lost is to be without keeping your heart closed. Or keeping your heart closed is being lost. Keeping your heart open is being found. So make sure you put those in the right order so that way you can see that you're doing the right thing. Okay, let's see. Where are we at?
We are right here. With regards to the courses you guys offer, can both twin flames benefit from one twin flame taking them, for example, root camp? Or do you suggest both twin flames take courses to benefit the connection? One more question to follow. Okay. It's very rare we have both. I mean, sometimes we do. Yeah, we've got two or three right now. However, we got a couple of them that we do separate. We don't do together ones yet. It's not time. They're not ready to do together ones yet, but we work with both of them and then bring them together at the right time to discuss some things. However, I would say 75% of the time it's one or the other coming to us. Now, here's an interesting twist on this, and that, we obviously don't offer any guarantees or anything like that. I mean, I'm not going to say your twin's going to come back, but here's what happens. You get into root camp is so powerful. Root camp, universe gave it to me, and man, it's putting people into healing a lot. But then what happens is you go into healing, you start opening up these rooms, you start cleaning these rooms that are inside you. You start sweeping them out. You start putting home sweet home signs up there. You start making it roomy, homey, comfortable, peaceful, zen. The feng shui is happening in the rooms in your soul, right? Mm-hmm. It's flowing.
Right.
The one you're connected to obviously is going to feel that. They're going to feel that. And they're either going to, one, be like, what the hell is this that I'm feeling? Or two, like, what's going on with them? What's going on with the one I'm connected to? And they're going to contact you to find out what the hell it is you're going on. And there we're going to have either a whole set of problems or something beautiful. So yeah, it doesn't really matter, I would say. I mean, if both of you are willing and want to go through root camp, we do couples root camp a lot, where we do separate together. Right now we're working with people who are just separate, and we are working on them separately. Eventually we'll bring them together in a session to clear up some things. But, you got to be in the right heart space and the right mind space to be able to go through root camp effectively and accept the healing.
Yeah. I mean, Sherry created root camp because one thing that she really, really found in our connection, but really, really found in the connection she had to herself, is that a lot of her triggers and a lot of the things that she had gone through in her life were showing up very deeply rooted in our connection. So she realized that a lot of the things that the way the root camp is set up is literally to show you how you're connected to you, to show you why they're going to be connected to you the same way. Now, you can find somebody in your life outside of this connection who can be with all of those things that you currently do to yourself and have no way of really seeing it. And it almost feels like you can be connected to them, but you're really not. You kind of get the responsibility of what you're not connected to in yourself to them, and they pretty much will cater to that. Root camp is real work. You're going in, we go in like SWAT hours, and we're asking you, this is your connection to yourself. Here's what you're saying to yourself. Why are you saying this? Who are you saying this for? Where did this come from? Because literally, when you're in this connection, they're going to trigger all of that in you. And there's nothing they can do about it. They can only choose you according to the path of the way you're connected to yourself. And this program that you created shows you how you're doing that to yourself, literally. And it's not easy work. Anybody who's been through camp will tell you it is not easy. And there's crying on our part, your part. I mean, we can see in the connection that you have to yourself why you're stuck.
And by the way, it's very private. There are no classes for root
it's
camp.
Just
root camp is you and us, or you and one of our coaches, whatever you choose. That is very personal and very private. So root camp is just us. We literally start from your very first memory, very first thing you can remember, and we just go from there. And we learn you. We know, we listen. And we know more about you than you know about yourself.
We actually have to train. We train coaches that we train them to really listen at a deeper level. And it's an ongoing thing because you keep going deeper. The more you listen, the more you start hearing things that you don't necessarily think somebody's saying, but you can start to hear what they're really saying. And then you hear what their reasons are behind it. And a lot of times you got to go in there and you got to take a flashlight and you got to find out where the truth is. Sometimes you start flipping on lights and they're like, I don't know where I came up with that. It's not even the truth. And you realize that maybe for a majority of your life, what you were telling yourself was never any truth to it. And it changes you because you don't necessarily know how to find those things. So the connection to yourself, I would tell you, it can just take one. Because then you're going to start realizing that if it's happening to you, it's happening to them.
Right.
And then there's a like this big, huge open door for compassion. So hopefully that answers your question.
This is her follow-up question for that. For those who haven't met or know of a twin flame, in your experience, do you find that after a person takes a course, example, root camp, do you find their twin flame shows up in their life? Well, this is an interesting question. Here is what we have experienced. This is our personal experience, and it just is. Just like we said before, once you start opening up to this, once you start clearing out those rooms and start sweeping out the mess, we have seen the twins show up. We have seen it a lot. Not only that, we've seen twins in separation come and haven't talked in sometimes 20 years. All of a sudden they email or call or show up. Obviously, we're not going to tell you this is going to happen to you because really it's all in the connection. I cannot tell you if you do root camp with us, your twin's going to come back. I cannot tell you that if you do root camp with us, your twin's going to come into your life. What I can tell you are the chances are greater by far. And we see it happening a lot, all of the time. And that's not because of us. That is because of you.
Right.
We just ask the right questions and you start to open up and feel that peace and you let go of a lot of things, a lot of old patterns, a lot of things that we bring to your attention, and you learn to let go of those, put them in acceptance or put them into healing. And there's not all those blocks in that wall. You still have your castle that's got many, many rooms in it. And you may have a moat and a bridge, right? You're going to have to swim across, lift the bridge, swim across. But I'm telling you, it opens up doors. It opens up doors to healing like magic. But it's not magic. It's you doing your work.
And it really kind of makes you see that, well, maybe I could just ask it as a question. Do you think your thoughts keep you from your connection? I mean, it's just as simple as that. And if you don't even know how to find that, or if you don't see what kind of energy that creates in your connection, I would suggest you start looking right there, because we come up with all kinds of thoughts of why we're not going to be in union, why we're not going to have what we want, why we're not going to have the love, or why the other person does this. Or once you get in that space, you don't even see the kind of energy that creates in this connection that disconnects you in this connection, and you think the other person's the problem. But your thoughts about it get away scot-free and keep building this wall, keep building this huge barrier between you and your connection. And your thinking doesn't ever say, I think, if I just stop to let you see if you can have this connection, your thinking doesn't do that to you. But if you really look at it, do your thoughts prevent you from ever being open to someone you're connected to? You learned it a long time ago and you're still carrying it. And this is why Root Camp is here. That's why we do this. That's why we come out. We want to make sure we give away as much as we receive. And we're not saying it's easy, but we are pointing to the truth. If you can be in your head about things, how are you connected to that? Do you choose your thinking over your connection? Do you choose how you think about you and what you think about you over your connection? I'm going to stop preaching.
Congratulations on that relationship you got going down. I think it's awesome. I think you're doing awesome. How on earth can I move past my biggest block to union? It feels impossible to me. Mine is a physical flaw where I just feel unworthy for my twin. I can't seem to move past it.
What proof do you have that you're unworthy? And when did you make sure that you matched unworthy with feel? Unworthy doesn't feel anything. It's just the label that we can place on ourselves. And what your twin is seeing is you standing there with a sign that says unworthy, or your inner child is standing there with a sign that says unworthy. Why would you give your own inner child a sign to carry around that your twin has to look at and then not choose you in? That's actually you not choosing. You should take that sign, crack it in half, and don't use the word unworthy. Mm-hmm. If there's something on the inside of you that you're saying they can't accept, why not talk to them about it? Because what you're saying you can't move past is a sign that you're still carrying. Put the sign down. Love and open up your heart and say, here's what I've said these kinds of shit to myself, and I'm just tired of doing it. That would be how they could love you once you actually give up the sign. Because you carrying that sign isn't you loving yourself. So don't try to put it on them first. Put it on you. But you do have a choice. Put down the sign of unworthy.
That was amazing. Oh. I have nothing to back that up with. That was perfect.
Oh.
Hi, my twin flame had an accident and I felt the pain. I had surgery and I was wondering if the anesthesia would affect him. Lee, what was your experience with when Sherry had that surgery?
Actually, I felt her coming and sitting in the room with me. It was like you need to get back in there and get back in your body. I mean, I literally could feel her just saying, I felt floating, but I felt her energy with me. But then when it was reversed, when she would you remember when I kept stopped breathing because I kept jumping out of my body to come lay with you. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to do what you could do. So it's different, I think, because I didn't know the ability of leaving my body without, shutting my body down. Whereas you know how to do that. I mean, you do it because you literally do that to be in both worlds between the afterlife and here as a medium. You know how there's something built in you that can do that, where I don't necessarily have that, but I know how to get out of my body. But I have a really hard time getting back in it.
I'm not going to tell you that wasn't a little bit annoying that time. And if you haven't seen our journey, I'm going to just give you a quick flash of what happened. I had a couple surgeries, minor surgeries. Gallbladder came out, appendix came out. And in both instances, you and Ron were both there.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a lot of support. I woke up and both my hands were all stretched out, and Ron was sitting on this side and Lee was sitting on this side, and they were both holding my hands. And I just felt so supported and loved. And yeah, I could. He had told me he felt a little loopy when I was on the pain medication at night after you went home. I remember. But I'm going to jump forward to when he was in the hospital having his back surgery. Some of you have heard this little story, and I'm going to make it really short. There was a time when it was the day of surgery, and it was nighttime now. And he's in the hospital room. He had back surgery. And I was exhausted. I was up early. We got him to the hospital. I hung out with his son and my brother-in-law. And we weren't even married at this point. But I was so tired once everybody left and we were getting settled down, and he was on pain medicine, so he was sleeping a lot. And I was just tired, and I was so just looking forward to making up that little couch bed, whatever they have at those hospitals. I wasn't even going to pull it out to make the bed out of it. I just made a nice comfy bed. The nurse brought me some extra pillows, and I went to go to the couch to lay down. And when I laid down and just started to doze off, the alarm went off that he stopped, and he was not breathing. And so, of course, I rushed over to his side. The nurse rushed in, and the alarm stopped. And so they thought, it was just a fluke with the machine or whatever. And I got back over to the couch, and I was so exhausted, and I laid there, and I was comfortable. As soon as I closed my eyes, the damn alarm went off again. So I get over to his bed, and the alarm goes off. The nurse comes in, and he was like, ugh, I don't know what's going on. So I go back to the couch. Nevertheless, this happened repeatedly to where the nurse come in and said, you do realize you can't go back over there. I don't know what's happening. I mean, it's like 2:00 in the morning at this point. I don't know what's happening. He said, I don't care what's happening. You cannot go back over there. You have to stay here. Well, it's 2:00 in the morning, and I'm a little bit tired, buddy. I mean, I can't. What do you want me to do? Get in bed with him? You just had surgery. He said, no, but I think we can work this out. So he brought in a recliner and a sleep recliner, and he pulled it up, and they brought me some pillows, and it built it up to where my bed was even with his. And gave me a blanket and whatever, and I just held his hand, and the alarm didn't go off the rest of the night. And nurse came in the morning, said, I don't know what happened last night. I don't care, right? It's not going to happen again tonight because you're sleeping right there, right? I had a newborn. Well, he was, 2? Mm-hmm. He was 2. Cameron was 2. Ron was awesome, and he took care of him, and he was great. But, I was feeling kind of homesick too, but I stayed, and I was going to stay because I didn't want you to stop breathing. But it was definitely our connection. There was definitely our connection. There was just no other explanation.
Absolutely. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah. Beauty of Root Camp is it helps with the obsession with the twin. I just finished 8 sessions, and you did a wonderful job.
Yeah. Very proud of you. Very proud of you. Oh, and I'm in separation, and he feels gone for good, but I'm free within the connection. I love it. Love feeling him, but don't need him with me to feel good. Awesome. That's powerful.
That is powerful.
That is very powerful.
Sherry, were you ever the runner at one point? Are you kidding? I ran marathons. Not physically, clearly, but oh yeah, I've been the runner and the chaser. Still sometimes. I am still sometimes.
Yeah, she still runs even in Union.
Yeah, and so do you.
No, I don't.
Of course you don't.
No, I don't chase or run.
Of course you don't.
I saw that. No, I think, yeah, I would say that I find that if I do catch myself running or if I catch myself chasing, I have a rewind button that say, why am I doing that? Right. And I've been developing that for years. Mm-hmm. It wasn't something that was easy to do. Okay.
We'll take one more, I think, because I don't want this to go on.
Gotcha. Let's see. Yes, as far as running. Also, I've been having this thing where my intuition keeps telling me to hit my twin up. I didn't listen, of course, but I got confirmation last night that I should have listened.
Always listen to your gut. Always listen to your intuition. Don't ever not.
When you go against your intuition, you actually create a state of suffering in you that your thought process gets to somehow make you suffer it. And you don't even know how to get out of it because you didn't realize that you were closing your heart rather than opening it. So it's kind of like what we started off talking about. Leave your heart open. I mean, what have you got to lose? Anybody who's told you that, yeah, if you leave your heart open, you're going to get hurt, there's no future tellers in this world. If there were, they'd only be an illusion. Get the lottery numbers from them and see if you hit the lottery. But future tellers don't exist. So you need to not be your own future teller. What have you got to lose by keeping your heart open?
You get the lottery numbers.
Good.
Get them, please. How did you guys know about what you're supposed to do together, mission? Real quick, I'm going to tell you, we didn't. Lee was working retail and he was working a lot. And it came to the point where universe kept pushing us to talk to people, And he was writing blogs and people were getting it and they were listening and they were wanting to talk. And we were not going to jump off the bridge. We were not going to do that. We were not going to jump and just quit our jobs and start, I don't know, sitting in chairs. Until the universe said, you know what, if you're not going to move, I'm going to move you. And they took his job. He's worked for 20 some years and they outsourced his job. Or they eliminated his position and offered him another one in the same company, but
it's a nasty story.
It was a bad story.
But it was for a great reason.
I know that it was the universe saying, stop. I've asked you to stop. Now you're going to stop. And we looked at each other like, what the hell are we going to do? So Lee got some unemployment. And while his unemployment was happening, we just had to figure it out. Because it was good.
The interviews and all of that crap.
Lee looking for work, tons of stuff to do. And it just wasn't happening. And Lee's got so many certifications, so many awards, so many things for doing what he did. He's a team builder. And he listens and he talks. He's got amazing skills. And
you're being so sweet to me.
Well, you just do. I mean, anybody would jump at the chance to hire you because of your skill level. And it wasn't happening, which was really odd to me because I know your skill level. And then, of course, it just felt universe was trying to move us and we had fear and we couldn't move. So the universe moved us and sort of pushed us into it. You talk, you listen. You talk, you listen. That's what you do. Mm-hmm. You help change people's lives. You help people go into healing. I heard the voices. I heard them. I heard them say to me, you talk to people, you coach, you do this. And I had a dream one night. And in this dream, I was walking with my spirit guide and my spirit guide was saying, this is what you do. He laid it out and into me in a dream. You're going to do this. And I was like, oh, I don't know how. Stop saying you don't know how. You're already doing it. So it was interesting how it ended up playing out. And the universe continues to move us in different directions.
I believe what's beautiful about it is the way that we found our mission was going into our pain, not away from it.
Right.
And, that's how the birth of Relationship Reinvented came. We were writing about everything that we were experiencing. We said it in such a way that it was very alien, but it was very soul felt. So it was about, getting out of your head and into your heart, a lot of it. And then people started emailing. We didn't know that we would be here doing this. You looked at us and told us 7 years ago, that this is what we would be doing. And we knew we were going to stay connected and we were going to be together, but we didn't know what that would look like. We had dreams that told us what it would look like. We had dreams of being on stages. We had dreams of talking. We had dreams of sitting and answering questions to people who we couldn't see their faces. So sometimes they just come and we just kept talking to each other about it. But then when people started wanting to talk to us, then she said, I think people really want to see us. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. I said, well, we could do radio. So we did Blog Talk Radio, but then it seemed to be that more people wanted to talk to us once they knew we were real. because you just don't know what's real. You live in a world inside of yourself, and then you try to make it in this world, and it's like you're moving world against world already. But when we combined our worlds, we didn't look at each other. Nobody does this. We don't know what this is going to look like. And then we didn't know me. And it's gotten so deep now. And it's like you said, it's gotten more vast. And it's opened up so many doors. We didn't know what this was going to be. So if you're looking for what this connection is here to give you, you only find that by going into your pain, not away from it. And if you've spent a lifetime of practice running from your pain, you're gonna find this very difficult to find out really what it is you're meant to do or what your life purpose is. You birthed in pain, not away from it. So you're gonna have to get rid of your stories and go in and find out what it created, because pain is nothing more than creative energy. So I think, if you take that answer that Sherry and I just said and combine it, you're gonna find what it is you're looking for. But nobody can give you that. It's already in you. You have this answer. Each one of you that watches, each one of you that know that there is a deeper connection out there, you know that there's a purpose to this. But you got to go in you to find it. Don't go in somebody else.
And if somebody's looking for that sign from the universe, here we are. And if you really, 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 really are interested in doing what we do, but putting your own twist on it, your own spin on it, get a hold of us. We run a coaching certification program, and we train coaches to do what we do.
Absolutely.
And we have coaches out there. And hey, if you go over to the Relationship Reinvented channel, we just did a great video with 4 of our coaches.
Yeah.
And
look for a lot over there.
Go to our website. Some of our coaches are on there. And in our group in Facebook in Relationship Reinvented, and Twin Flame Work Group by Relationship Reinvented on Facebook. Hey, the coaches are there answering your Twin Flame questions. We're there answering your Twin Flame questions. We try to check in multiple times a day and answer questions. Our coaches are there. They're answering questions. Relationship Reinvented is helping and is willing and able to help in all of your questions, Twin Flame related, not Twin Flame related, actually. We're going on 47 minutes. We won't keep you very long.
Yes.
Hey, if you're interested in Root Camp, let me tell you, I'm really not tooting our own horn here. It really is a powerful, powerful tool to really help you in your own healing. And man, it'll change your life. It really will. We're still going to honor the mini Root Camp, the 4 sessions for $500. And, it's a great kickoff. It's a great place to start.
That's only for those that watch the videos. We don't post it really.
Yeah, we don't post that. So if you're watching the video, you can get in on that. Just say, hey, I watched your video and you offered that special, because I don't post that anywhere. Hey, we love you guys. We really, really do. Don't forget to go over to the Relationship Reinvented YouTube channel. So subscribe there. That way you can get all of our videos, and it'll tell you when we're there, because we're going to be doing some live there too.
Yeah. We'll make sure that the content keeps coming.
Yeah.
The universe has asked us to do that, and we're going to provide.
Yeah, we are not done.
No.
By far.
No.
So we do love you guys. We'll try to finish answering these questions over in the comments when we get time.
And don't forget, we're talking about SEX over there on the Relationship Reinvented channel. With it's really interesting. I'm just one male.
Great,
but I'm speaking up for all of us boys. I got us. I got our back. So Divine Masculine, know that it's in this part of this, and the masculine itself are all represented, because I'm just going to say it like it is.
Yeah. I'd love to have some more masculine input on it.
Yes. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Info at relationshipreinvented.com. Info at relationshipreinvented.com. One word. Relationshipreinvented.com if you're interested in Root Camp Coaching Certification Program. 30-minute session, free 30-minute session. Get a hold of us. We'll talk to you.
Absolutely. And don't forget, all of the answers are in you, not in somebody else, not in the person you're connected to. See you soon.
That's nice.